get started.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't. The elephant in the room is the rioting, is the protesting, is all the other crazy shit. In the second hour, we will have Lyle, Richardson, and Spectre's Hockey on, as we are wont to do. And we will get into the hockey aspect of it, what the responsibility of teams and players are. Obviously, I think as a whole, and I don't want to speak for Johnny, although I hope we're on the same wavelength, shit's fucked up with the cops in treating black people.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, like, if you haven't noticed since Rodney King, shit's been fucked up. So
it is decently sad. So I pulled out my I have a stand up speak out bracelet. Nike put these out. It's a black bracelet and a white bracelet that are intertwined. I'm not actually wearing it right now, and the reason is because I don't want to break it. It's from 2005. It was put out to try to cut out racism in sports, which obviously it has not worked because 15 years later, we're still talking about this shit.
15 year of a 5-year plan.
So yeah, so I pulled that back out and took some pictures and wore it around for a little bit. And then I got a couple more coming from Belgium that I can actually wear and not be like pissed off if I break one, because I got 2 coming. So yeah, so I don't understand. I think maybe the bigger issue. I don't understand why this is still a topic that we talk about every like 2 to 3 years. And the irony of it all is that Baltimore was extremely peaceful this time. I mean, they had their protests, but I mean, it seemed like a very peaceful protest from what I was watching on Twitter.
In Baltimore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
And the juxtaposition for what's happening 5 hours down the road, in Minneapolis. Here in Grand Forks, there was a parade of people honoring a cop who got shot last Wednesday and killed. Literally 2 blocks from me in the apartment complex, 2 blocks from me. And the fact that in North Dakota is much more lily light than Minnesota is, and the people there, or people here, kind of not, police, da 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 da. Which, okay, I get it, I understand. But you can't say a few bad apples when it's constant shit happening. 92 was Rodney King, for Christ's sake, and here we are, almost 30 years later.
Yeah,
and shit's still happening, man. Like it's oddly enough, I found this out. I'm not black.
Really?
So I weird. I know.
Even growing up in Glen Burnie?
No, because that was on the other side of black. It was.
Yeah. I see.
If I lived in maybe Brooklyn Park, Arbutus, perhaps I could have passed. Perhaps. Now I can't. I was too far south. But yeah, the fact of the matter is that I don't know what goes on. I'm a white guy, but to listen to people and to listen to black people and to hear their experiences over my lifetime and hear what has happened via the cops. Someone brought up an interesting point. You never hear anybody say "fuck the fire department."
That's true. That's true.
I mean, and you see everything going around how the cops inciting or whatever, and people disguised as protesters starting looting. Like, fucking let these people get their anger out peacefully. Shit, how hard is that to understand?
Do you are you still friends with people from St. Joe?
Outside of my group, not necessarily.
I still have like a bunch
on Facebook.
Yeah. So I still have a bunch of friends from Facebook from St. Joe, and there's some very influential friends that I have that are African American that have given their stories that I just have never heard before. And it's eye opening. It's insane. It's insane to me. Like I keep going back to the same thought of like, I don't know why it still happens. I don't understand. And maybe it's just that, like Mark and I were raised differently. Or we were put in situations like going to St. Joe, we were in a situation that was much different than had I continued along and went to Chesapeake High School. Right. Like, so I maybe we were put in different situations and were able to see, a very good, I mean, you might remember Ninja Jeff.
Oh, yes.
From his starring role in Ninja Jeff. And
funny he had a name like that. He'd star in a film just like that.
He's a pastor now.
Oh, good for him.
And I'm friends with him on Facebook. And what he talks about is insanely powerful. It's just crazy. Like, and I am not religious anymore. I'll say I grew up in a church. I had a falling out with the church when I was in college because I didn't appreciate how people acted that were in the church. And I just never went back. So I am not a person that says that everything has a purpose and, like God has this or that for you. But even in that, he can relate things in a way that you don't have to be religious. You can be spiritual and still understand and still get the message, and it's still a powerful message. So he's been very good over the past week or so. Just kind of listening to some of his videos and watching videos. That's what you do with videos.
Yeah.
And reading a bunch of stuff from like some of the guys that went to St. Joe with us. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you and I are on the same page with the fact that we just don't understand.
Yeah, no, we don't get it, and what we're trying to like, you read. I do have, and this is a cliche line that white people hate, or white activists hate. I got a lot of black friends, and I mean, like, you see what they're going through and see their stories that are being told. I mean, John Brown from Comcast.
Yeah.
Like his stuff is hitting home too. It's just like the stuff that he talks about. It's just like, yeah, I never really had. And I'll be honest, I never really had any interaction with African Americans until I got to St. Joe, because like our elementary school for me was probably 99% white, with a couple of Asian kids in there, but not a lot of black people, none black teachers.
Yeah.
So when I get into Mr. Thomas's class freshman year religion, that was like, hey, it's black teacher, look at him go. And just the intersection of going from like near downtown or near Glen Burnie downtown-ish area where my elementary school was to St. Joe, which is in the middle of a very seedy area. Yeah, Irvington area where there's barbed wire on the fences and people throwing rocks at you from their stoop.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a huge culture change, and then you learn to kind of integrate because of the fact that it's just you get it. You start to get it sooner, but you don't get the whole spec. And being up in Calgary and my buddies Mike and Busang, of the Mr. Mike crew, like them opening my eyes to things here and there, especially up in Canada, being kind of the same as well. So, I mean, like, we don't get it. We like you said, right? I grew up pretty privileged, considering that I could have been in Glen Burnie High School, and that was just like, it wasn't a great school. My parents did all they could and worked their asses off in order to get me to a better education and get me a leg up. And a lot of these kids, like the black kids that came to school at St. Joe, worked even harder to get where they are, and to have their come up and be able to get the scholarships they needed. So it's like, you don't understand it until you sit down and listen. And I think that's the key part of it is sit down and listen. Don't say a damn thing. Just sit and listen to the thing. Maybe ask questions here and there, but yeah, no Manischewitz. Lyle, we also talked about something that you wrote about today.
Oh.
It was our Patreon pick, and it's funny because I put that up yesterday evening, and this came out what you wrote this morning. So I'm like, wow, good old parallel thing.
Great minds think
About
alike.
The return, fools seldom differ. Return to play plan and how the season could possibly shift this way forever. He's like, we were trying to discuss it, and we also, and it brought up good points about how it changed the trickle down too, about minor leagues maybe probably having to start later. I think juniors would be fine, colleges, but I mean, like overall, like aside from shortening the season, which I think probably last thing they want to do, is this the new? Are we gonna have a November to fucking July, August season?
Honestly, what will determine that is going to be ratings, But even then, I think you have to be very, very careful. I mean, if this tournament goes off and they have like fantastic ratings, let's say some of the best they've ever had for Stanley Cup playoffs or whatever.
Tremendous.
Yes, they're tremendous, best ratings ever. But who was that? I don't know. Anyway, Orange Cheeto Man. Yes. Anyway,
that's going to be the next person on the non-licensed hockey league.
There you go, the Orange Cheeto Man. Yes, greatest hockey fan ever, best knowledge. But even then, if the ratings are terrific, though, I think you got to be careful, because I think if the ratings are very strong for hockey for this summer, it's going to be because the fans want to see closure to this season. They want to see, because listen, for all the chatter we've heard of people poo-pooing this tournament and what a waste of time it is, and they should just shut down the season. I won't waste my time. Bullshit, you're lying. Because if you're a hockey fan, if they come back and this actually starts going off, and they're able to carry this through to its conclusion, fans are going to watch. Sorry, you're going to watch. It will have been by that point, I think, 5 months since we've seen hockey, and we're going to be right into the playoffs. Fans are going to watch. But is this just a one-off? Will fans want to buy into summer hockey? Because I don't think they will. Now, again, I'm talking for myself. Lyle Richardson thinks it's an absurd idea. I think it's ridiculous. Okay.
Why'd you talk about yourself in third?
Call me a purist, what have you. I'm getting to that. The fan in me, Lyle Richardson, the fan, thinks it's a stupid idea.
But Spectus Hockey, the business, says it's great.
But Spectus Hockey, the business, on the other hand, but the writer in me is sitting down and trying to be, okay, look at it, the whole angle and everything like that, and say, okay, well, I can see kind of the points that you're making. Okay, if you stage this and you have great ratings and the fans come out for it, well, the trick then is, are they going to come out for it again? Now, if they stage a full 82 game season next season, like they're planning on, with the idea of we'll start off in January and go, and then we'll award the Stanley Cup by that point in August. Well, fans might still be along with you at that point. If they see it as you're transitioning back toward your normal schedule, you know what I mean? Because there's, if you're not going to shorten next season, if you're going to pull off a full 82 game schedule, but you're awarding the Stanley Cup this year in October, and you want to give yourself a 2.5 month off season, including free agency and the draft. And then in December, you got to have a training camp and preseason. So you want to kick off on January 1st as the start of the 2021-22 or the 2020-21 season, of which 2020 won't be part of the equation except for preseason games. Well, then, yeah, if you're going to play the full schedule, you won't be awarding the Stanley Cup until August. Okay. But again, if you're telling the fans, look, we're doing it this way because over the next 2 to 3 seasons, because of the pandemic, we're going to kind of just ease our way back towards a normal schedule. Well, okay, fine. I think the fans will be with you on that. But if you turn around and say, hey, based on last year's ratings, or based on the ratings of 2 years of summer hockey, the fans love it. Let's do it. It's a great idea. The fans go, whoa, wait a minute. We're only with you on this ride because we thought you were easing back towards a normal schedule. Now you want to start the season in January and finish in August forever? That's your plan? You're going to play a winter sport in the middle of summer when our minds are shifted towards baseball, if we're watching sports at all, or golf, and an early or CFL football here in Canada, because that tends to start up here in July. Okay, do you really, if we're going to be paying attention to sports at all, because most of us are going to be outside enjoying ourselves, why would we want to watch a winter sport in the middle of summer? It's absurd. So, yeah, I can see the logic of why they think it could work. And yes, I mean, you'd only be competing with Major League Baseball in when they're in mid-season, early season, mid-season. So you're not competing against the NBA. You're not competing against the NFL. Yeah, sure, great, fine, wonderful. But honestly, it's not when you stage the season. It's the length of the season itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing, and I wrote about it, I was saying that the logic behind it, this whole thing would be, well, we noticed that the ratings for NHL hockey improve in the second half of the season. So ergo, if we stage the second half of the season in the summertime, when all we're going up against is Major League Baseball in the middle of their season, ergo we will grow the game and make more money and blah blah blah. I'm like, no. What makes you think that fans are going to tune in and watch freaking games, early season games, January, February, March, if it's an 82 game slog? What makes you think we're going to come along for the ride? It doesn't matter. The season's too damn long as it is. I'm of the school that buys into Pierre LeBrun's suggestion that start the season in September, okay? Have your preseason and training camp in August. Most players are on the ice by that point anyway. Have your preseason then. Open the regular season in September. We would get behind that. And then you could finish the Stanley Cup playoffs by May. Perfect. And then you're staying true to the whole thing, that hockey being a fucking winter sport. Okay? Mm-hmm. But there's so many other things, like you mentioned that I'd written about, is if you're going to do this as the NHL, well, now you've got to force the AHL to come along with you on this ride, and perhaps the ECHL as well. I mean, this is going to have a trickle-down effect into the minor pro leagues, because this is what the NHL draws from for their development leagues, and to bring up players whenever there's injuries. Well, what are you going to do, right? Are you going to turn around and say, oh, no, the AHL can keep doing what they're doing from October until May, and then we'll just grab their guys, the best guys that we want, and have them ride the taxi squad for the next 5 months, just like we normally do during playoffs anyway? Yeah, but you're not normally doing that. You don't normally have, 16 a team of 16 teams carrying a whole shit ton of these AHL players on their taxi squads, because a lot of those guys are still playing for the Calder Cup, right? Mm-hmm. So, it would cause a real problem for them. And honestly, the AHL, I don't think, has the luxury of being able to do that. They don't have the lucrative dollars that the NHL gets from broadcasting and from advertising to be able to pull that off. You want to talk about leagues that are really relying on the gate? It's minor pro. And sorry, I don't think they're going to be able to buy into you doing that. And let's not forget, the ice conditions for summer hockey will be fucking horrible.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we complain about how bad they are when we get into May and June during the playoffs. And we're not the only ones. The players hate it too. They hate going to play.
Just imagine, though, you're in Vegas. It's 115 degrees. It's a dry heat, obviously. Yeah. But you have this option that you can go into a massive refrigerator and watch a hockey game. Buying that ticket, especially if it's August. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, I know they made great advancements in ice, in technology, ice technology, but it don't matter. There are just some things you're not going to be able to avoid. And I'm sorry. I just think that there's just too much working against it. And look, I don't fault some people in the NHL for thinking outside the box with this. That COVID-19 has kind of forced them to do this. And listen, I give them credit for like, well, let's kick this idea around and see. But honestly, I really don't see fans buying into it. And I hear this argument of, oh, why not? We're practically seeing it's almost summer hockey anyway, for God's sake. When they award the Stanley Cup, it's usually, early to mid-June. Sometimes when there were delays in the schedule, like back in 2012-13 because of the lockout, we didn't award the Stanley Cup until late June. It was summertime by then. Who cares? It's just like, yeah, that was a friggin' one-off. And let's be honest. I mean, unless our team is in the Stanley Cup final, most fans by that point, you've tuned out. Unless you're following, like I say, if I wasn't covering this for a living, if I was just me as a straightforward Montreal Canadiens fan, oh, Habs aren't in the playoffs, or oh, Habs got eliminated. Oh, well, away we go. I'm done. That's the way I used to be. It's like, oh, Habs are eliminated. Oh, well, who cares? Oh, hey, Edmonton won the Stanley Cup. Oh, well, good for them. Didn't give a shit. Wasn't my team. And I think a lot of fans would feel the same way. So, yeah, I don't think that that's an idea that's going to take off, because if you actually do that, I think the NHL is going to find that it's not going to be that elusive pot of gold they seem to be forever chasing. That pot of gold that, oh, this is it. This is the one thing that's going to turn us into an equal among the other big three sports here in North America. It's just like, no, I don't think so. Nope. What do you guys think? I mean,
I will say the ice argument may be one of the ones that I actually sort of can see, because they're able to create ice literally anywhere now. They've had winter games, outdoor games. I mean, obviously winter games, but outdoor games pretty much everywhere. Even in places that you don't.
It's not a consistent thing, though.
No, it's a one-off.
Yeah,
it's a one-off. It's a one-off. If you so you put the ice down. I don't care.
What did it do? Is it sick?
Pick any outdoor stadium in Los Angeles or in California, in California, anywhere. And now let's have, instead of just one game where it's easy enough to keep the conditions decent for one night only, now you're going to have to do that every night through 4 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And now let's do it in the middle of the summer. Sorry, I don't see. I mean, like I said, players and fans and pundits alike all complain about the shitty conditions of the ice when you get to the Stanley Cup final. Part of the reason why the game changes in the Stanley Cup playoffs as you go along, part of it's shitty officiating, but part of it is because that puck is just bouncing and it's all over the place, and the conditions are terrible. A lot of players say that, players are saying that some arenas are worse than others. They feel like they're skating on slush, that it's terrible. And, like I said, well, get used to seeing that in every arena, everywhere, if you're going to run the Stanley Cup playoffs from June through to August or July through to September.
Okay. Listen, 68-game season. Forever and ever.
I know, man.
24 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There we go.
There
we
you
did
go.
it. We fixed fucking hockey.
Fixed. Our work here is done.
Now pay you. Fuck you. Pay me.
Now, world peace.
Peace.
Meta world peace.
Know what I mean?
Meta world peace. Rebounder. Didn't get the punched a guy in Detroit once.
Yeah. That was before he changed his name, though.
Yeah, no. He's still run our test then. All right, let me see if I can find this. Bauer. You know Bauer?
I do know Bauer. I saw this today, I think.
They are the official supplier of gear to the NAHL and many other leagues.
I have 2 Bauer hats in my house right now, trying to get Black Bears patches that we can sew on them.
Nice. We got to talk to fucking Brandon.
I might have to talk to Mitch.
Talk to Gotkins is the one who gets them.
Oh, really?
I think that's what she said, right? I thought you told me that Gotkins was the guy.
That's what Colin told me.
Oh, cool. All right, so Bauer is now. They now have a reversible face mask that you can wear to the rink.
I saw that.
$9.99. You work it to the rink, local hockey shop.
It's not bad.
Looks pretty nice. That's pretty much on par.
It's a good price point.
You can also buy a Bauer medical face shield for $7.99.
That's what I got my Maryland flag mask for $9.99.
Yeah, me too. I think mine was $10 for my Old Bay stuff. You can get your protective face shield that you can wear around hospitals and such. That's $8.
I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate the hard shield that they came out with. That's not gonna come out until August, and I may buy one just for shits and giggles.
Ah,
The one that you can put on the hat. Did
yeah,
you see that one?
yeah. I'm trying to find it now. They don't have.
Didn't you put it on Facebook today?
I did, but that was just like from their Facebook. They didn't have details on it, so I'm trying
Oh
to.
no,
find
they don't. They don't have that on their website.
Like they don't even have a press release about it.
No, they don't have that one on the website. I looked today. The only two that they have on the website are the face mask and then the original like shield that they created that has the bower and like the pad on it. But they don't
Sure.
have the new one that they came out with. They showed today, and they also don't have any more information that I saw on the. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it is a like bottom face shield that is full, or if it was like a piece that went over the bottom face shield that would keep like spit and stuff from like being able to come in underneath of your helmet. They showed it. It was like blue around the bottom.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, okay. So here we go. Thank God Bauer put a thread up. Let's go to the Scotty screen share if you're listening. And guess what? If you go to the Patreon, you can contribute as well, and you can get the dollar. All patrons get
Yes.
get it in there. So here's the face shield. Here's the hard face
I
shield.
would definitely get that and just walk around town with it for fun. For
Yep.
for my enjoyment.
For your enjoyment. So here's a deep look at it. It attaches to your hat via Velcro.
It's
Literally.
better without the hat, actually.
And here's the problem though, is that stuff's gonna get underneath you. Stuff's gonna get underneath.
I mean, that's fine. It's look how far it comes down.
It's like Danny Heatley's visor. You're right. It's fucking Danny Heatley's visor right here.
Like, I mean, that is that like for me, that would come down to like middle chest.
Exactly. You're protected, brother. You're good to go. And then here you go.
Yeah,
Here's
see?
the dad.
That
Here's the
guy.
dad with this guy's loving it. Look at him.
That guy's not even wearing a hat. He's like, fuck this shit o'clock. I'm just wearing this shield. Because
Oh
look,
my God, I'm late for pickup.
I'm looking at my watch and I got a hockey bag that obviously has nothing in it because look how collapsed it is. So like,
And he's got his Bauer quarter zip on.
yes,
It's looking good.
that guy right there. That is who I want to be. Like walking into a bar.
You're
Just for
excited.
the fun of
To introduce an integrated cap shield, which can be worn over a baseball cap alone, offering coverage with a built-in anti-fog treatment. It complies with ANSI standards for protection against splash and splatter and droplet resistance, available in early August.
So that thing is $30, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure. Then you got this. You got, of course, a reversible face mask. They look nice. They look pretty cool. Nice and crisp.
Yeah, the reversible face mask, I don't quite understand, but it is what it is.
I was going to say, like, all right. And
Like,
then
does it matter that it's reversible?
Yeah. Here's what you were talking about.
Yes.
So it looks as if, they facilitate a return with the Concept 3 Splash Guard, which fits our Concept 3 player's face mask to provide additional splash protection around the mouth while maintaining high visible thing. So it looks like it's just a fuller shield.
So maybe the
there's
blue is just to emphasize.
So it's a full shield. The blue is over top of the full shield. So you know how Standard had a full shield this year?
Yeah.
So this would be a blue part that clips to the ends of it and gives him more protection in the mouth area.
Oh.
So it's your thing. It's your go-to.
So here was my first thought then. My first thought was one that can't be blue, right? Because I'm hoping that it's just blue because, like, hey, we want to show you what it looks like. So this is for emphasis. Because like blue looking down between your feet, you don't want a blue shield, obviously.
Yeah.
Second of all, and here's the extremely cynical part of me. Like, I understand that the entire thing around this is to like protect yourself from like spit and splash and that kind of stuff. There is zero chance I can fucking breathe in that thing.
That's true. Yeah, because you're closing up the fucking openings down here. So that seems very counterproductive to life.
I mean, that cuts off a lot of oxygen coming in.
Sure does, Billy.
So, hey, we'll see. I thought I saw something today even that said that the NHL isn't even going to force players to wear full shields.
No. Well, I'm sure that had to be collectively bargained.
So this is more of like a kid thing.
Yeah, this is more of a child thing. And
Did
someone
you see the next
did
tweet?
make the Danny Heatley joke
Oh, that's so good.
that I made. So there we go.
I love that shield.
That shit was like the fucking, and you could see why he did it. One fucking eye is dilated, the other's not.
That was like Danny Heatley went to Oakley and was
Yeah.
like, "Hi, so I need a full shield," and they're like, "Okay, well we make full shields." He's like, "No, hear me out. I need a full shield, but I don't want the bottom." Wait, what? Yes, I want you to make me a full shield, but no bottom to it. I just
Exactly.
want it
I
to
don't
be
want
shield.
any bottom at all. I want it all top.
All top.
All top. No muss, no fuss.
And he got what he wanted.
He did.
And now they
Nothing-
made it into something.
And
now they
they've-
just extended it 3 inches, and they're like the Danny Heatley medical edition.
the COVID 15 Danny Heatley flash guard. Ugh, love it.
And I will definitely buy one.
Of course, yeah. No, it's,
Yeah, obviously.
yeah. No, sure, got to.
Just to wear on the show.
Yeah,
actually.
why not? Yeah, just for shits and gigs on the show. It's the only reason why he bought that mirrored visor.
I know, and I love it. It's so nice. I wear it outside the house sometimes, just as like a pair of sunglasses.
Sure, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I want to
Wow.
wear it to like a bar, but I feel like that might be overkill.
Do it after this pandemic's over and people are crazy and won't give a shit.
I want to get the next thing I want to get is one of those cycling helmets that have like the
Like the long.
like the time trial
Aerodynamic
cycling
feel.
helmet, but it has to have the integrated lens as well. And then I'm just gonna wear that out and around just for the fun of it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of
Just have all this random sets of
All right,
helmets.
introduce Lyle. Jesus.
You're stepping all over his bit, Johnny.
It's just Lyle here. Lyle, hi.
Hi.
Lyle, what thing of Johnny's did you like about it? Do you like the big visor? Do you like the aerodynamic helmet? Do you like the mirrored visor with the helmet he can wear out
the
to
mirrored
bars?
visor, absolutely.
Here's my thing,
Absolutely.
Johnny. What you need to do, go to a junkyard, 2 cup holders,
Junkyard
boom.
dog.
foam dome with the visor.
See, I'm gonna need to get a new helmet because the helmet that I got with the mirrored visor currently has the Capitals logos on the side. It's a very Ovechkin helmet.
I'm sure you can find like 2 cup holders that have the screws that go right into the little sides of the screws. You could twist it in and you can just modify it that
You
way.
know, it's funny the mirrored visor never really caught on.
What
you
kind
know,
of band
It
did?
caught on. I've got 2 of them.
No,
It's true.
I got
It
2 of
never
them.
caught
For,
on
I got 2 of them for $20.
It caught on with you. Yeah, it caught on with fans. It never really caught on with players. But yeah, because you would have figured with Ovi rocking that bad boy that it would have,
Well, that's
but-
because Fatso was so angry about the mirrored visor that he had it banned.
that's
True.
so.
It's true.
Marty Brodeur
Yes, actually.
Alright.
using Sean Avery's endearing nickname for
Exactly.
Mark Brodeur.
We will do something fun once Mark gets back, if he ever gets back.
He said his
Um,
computer needed to restart.
Okay. Oh, I'm good. I got enough bourbon to last the show. I'm good.
All right, wonderful. Lyle, what do you got?
Oh God.
We talked about it a little earlier.
How much of a deep dive did you go into this earlier?
We talked about everyone who was fired, the shitty drafting they've done, whether it becomes a trust issue between Eichel and the Sabres with the management, why Gerard Gallant could or could not be the best replacement coach for Ralph Krueger, and pushing Jack Eichel further, and the parallels to Jack Eichel and Alex Ovechkin in their first couple of years.
Okay. Those latter 3 that you spoke of. Gerard Gallant is not coming to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Why would he want to be part of that shit show?
Eh.
Why? No.
Because he's going to
straight
take
up.
the Seattle job. He's already first in line for
Exa-
Seattle.
he's got he's got other pokers in the fire here. He's got Detroit, he's got New Jersey, he's got the Seattle
and
job.
Detroit's any better?
Like what? Detroit any better? Yes, because
How?
they have stable ownership, they have a well-respected general manager, and they are going to be built properly. This is the first. This is the early years of their fucking rebuild after spending, 30 years as a perennial friggin' playoff contender and Stanley Cup contender, okay? So I am not on the train of, point and laugh what a joke the Red Wings are. Yeah, they're rock bottom now because they're building back up with stable ownership and one of the most respected general managers in the fucking business. So I am not worried about Detroit at all. Come back in 10 years. If Detroit is Detroit has not made the playoffs in a decade, yeah, then we can all point and laugh and call them a shit show. They're not that. Buffalo is. Buffalo has ownership that is out to lunch with not one team, mind you, but two teams being your Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they made the playoffs last year. How long do you think that's going to last until the Pagulas decide they want to medal some more? Hey?
I don't know. The AFC East is wide open, Lyle.
Yeah, and the Bills can
gone.
still fumble it and fail to make it on the last goddamn game of the season. So don't even go there with me. You know it's true. Anyway,
Lyle, they play in the same division as the fucking Jets and the Dolphins. They have a very good fighters chance.
Come back with me. Back to the Sabres.
So hold on, real quick before we leave Gerard Gallant.
Who are the Bills owners again?
Who knows?
But who are the Bills owners?
The Pagulas. Mark, what do you say?
I rest my case.
Yeah.
All right,
Mark,
there you go.
So back to Gerard Gallant.
Fuck it up. Anyway, Mark, go ahead.
If I'm Gerard Gallant, if I'm able to take Seattle to the playoffs and maybe even to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year, does that get him in the Hall of Fame? Right there.
Even if they don't win the cup, it should.
Yeah. So maybe he's holding out for that. Maybe he's like, look, I'm going to be the only coach to take 2 expansion teams to the Stanley Cup final in their first season.
I don't know. I think they fucking learned about the expansion draft in Vegas that they're not going to let that happen in Seattle.
No, that's not going to happen again. But like I was saying, Gallant has other irons in the fire here. He does not need to go to that circus that is the Sabres, because the circus, the Sabres are a friggin' circus. They're a freak show right now, and it's because of their ownership. There's no other way to describe this nonsense.
It's weird because when the Pagulas took over, like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Well, at the time, it seemed like it. Finally, stable ownership with deep pockets that was going to keep the team of Buffalo, was committed to building a winner. None of this half-hearted horse shit that they had from their previous ownership. That was
like,
understandable.
Tim Murray, come on down.
But who knew that it was going to tilt completely in the other direction and just get weird? I mean, 3 general managers, 6 head coaches over since 2013. This is insane. And listen, if they had, I could understand firing Botterill if, say, you could have had a well-respected general manager like an Yzerman, like a Lou Lamoriello, take your pick, somebody, a well-respected general manager to come in and say, hey, listen, I'd be interested in coming in and taking over as your general manager and trying to get your franchise back on track. If that had been the instance, the rationale behind replacing Botterill 3 weeks after you gave him a vote of confidence, if that had come up in between in that period, then absolutely I could say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Go for it. All right. But you fire Botterill and you replace him with the guy from accounting. That's what it comes down to.
I think he was a center for the Hurricanes for a bit.
Yeah, Kevin Adams. And this is not knocking Kevin Adams as a player. Fine.
So
he had an NHL career.
General manager.
Good for him. He was the senior VP of business administration. He was in accounting. God damn it. The point is that he has no management experience. 0. And this is the guy who's going to come in and get your team back on track. And it's I'm not the only person that's picked up on this. The reason why this is being done is so the Pagulas can have more direct influence in the decisions for that roster and how that team is built. They got their yes man, because Botterill, they wanted to make cuts. As we found out subsequently, the real reason why Botterill got canned is They wanted to make cuts. They wanted to gut the scouting staff, as we saw, which they subsequently did. They wanted to clean out. They wanted to replace the coaching staff down in Rochester. They wanted to shake up the front office. They wanted Botterill to make cuts, and Botterill didn't want to do it. So Botterill paid the price. And then they brought in their yes man, who basically here was the phone call to all the people that he talked to yesterday. Hi, I'm Kevin Adams. I'm the new GM. I don't know you, but you're fired. That was the end of it. That was it in a nutshell. Okay?
It should be noted that the Rochester Americans this season were 33-20-4, second in the North Division. And if I'm looking at points-wise, they were fourth overall in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, this was a Sabres
they were
affiliate
good.
that was actually winning. So there you go. Amazing. This isn't quite as bad as the Islanders hiring Gar Snow, like fresh out of being a backup goalie into the general manager's chair. But it's in the neighborhood. It's in the neighborhood. Now, who knows? If Kevin Adams can actually go in and turn around and prove us all wrong and get this team on the right track, hey, I will happily eat my words. But if you're a Sabres fan right now, you got to be sitting there going, oh, come on. This is insane. It is absolutely insane. And then they got the scouting department. 21 scouts they had. There's only 7 left now. This is a fucking bloodletting.
We looked at it, and then looking at the drafting of the past, I don't know, since Eichel, that's probably a good reason. They were fucking terrible.
No. Ryan Jankowski he was only in the job 2 years. Just 2 years.
I'm just saying as a whole, Lyle. Their drafting has not. But some of those scouts were probably there for longer.
Okay, fine if you want to go and shake some of those up. But why did you gut fucking near everybody? Why did you get rid of Jankowski again? Only in the job 2 years. That makes no sense.
Fuck him. He'll find a job elsewhere.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe better off for him.
But see, yesterday could very well end up going down as the beginning of the end of Jack Eichel's tenure with the Buffalo Sabres. Because looking at this, I don't see any indication of any real improvement here. And if cost cutting is the Pegula's whole thing now, how much are they going to invest in improving the team next season? Seriously? Yeah, I know they got $47 million invested in just 10 players, and with a flat cap they'd still have a lot of money. How do we know they're going to fucking spend up to the cap? How do we know they're not going to be a cap team next year, or just a budget team next year that just stays just over spends between 60 to 65 mil, doesn't really do anything to improve the team? How do we know that they're actually going to make an investment and make this club better?
Mark? If I may, Lyle, this is a comment from a Facebook post from Russian Machine Never Breaks regarding the Buffalo Sabres firing 22 different people. This isn't cleaning house. This is gutting it, ripping out the copper piping, and burning the rest of it down. The Pegulas will be on the front lawn with a contractor discussing plans to build the exact same house.
That is perfect. Yep, that's perfect. But I'm serious. This, I think, unless Kevin Adams can prove us all wrong, I think yesterday will go down as the date that was the beginning and the end of Jack Eichel's tenure in Buffalo. If we see another shit show on the ice for the next year or two, do you really think he's going to want to stay? And who can blame him if he wants to leave?
2 more seasons with no clause in his contract, and then 4 more with a no move that he would probably gladly waive.
Absolutely.
Given to that point. Now, we talk a little bit about the trust issues with the Eichel and the Sabres management and the parallels to Ovechkin and his run through the first early rough years. At least Ovechkin was making playoffs. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
In this. So
but you also had stability in the front office there in Washington, too.
But not
with
behind the bench.
GM, you had stability. You also had stability in ownership as well. Okay? So that was a significant difference there. There was a commitment from Leonsis to GM that they were going to build this team around Ovechkin and they were going to do it right. And the proof is in the pudding, How many seasons did Ovi play before he finally reached the playoffs? What was it? He hit the playoffs in his 3rd season, I believe it was. 08?
Yeah.
Yep.
08,
Because it
09?
wasn't in his rookie year, and it
08,
wasn't his
09.
sophomore year. It was in his third year.
Junior year.
There you go.
Yeah.
But but that is the difference. That's the difference, because the ownership is not stable. Again, management, they're, like I said, they're on their third general manager now, a guy with zero experience. They're on their sixth head coach now. They're not expected to file. They're not expected to file. They'll file Ralph Kruger. They're not expected to fire Kruger. But then again, Botterill's job was supposed to be safe too 3 weeks ago, wasn't it? So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we turn around in 2, 3, 4 weeks and go, guess what? We fired Botterill and we replaced him with the Zamboni guy. Hey, if Carolina can hire a Zamboni guy for one night to beat the Leafs, we think our Zamboni driver can probably coach the team better. It wouldn't surprise me.
And a weird question then, the segue. Is Ralph Kruger even the guy at this point?
The players really like him. Like, he's got a lot of support on that team. A lot of the players really like him. I mean, Ristolainen, who a year ago couldn't wait to get out of Buffalo. He was saying, he was basically saying, I could get traded or whatever. Now he, at the end of the season, he said, if there's changes, he said, I'll probably be among the first guys to be moved. But he added the caveat. He said, but I'd really like to stay because I really enjoy playing for Ralph Kruger. So, a lot of the guys really like him. Jack Eichel thinks the world of him. So, if he's got that going for him, Kruger probably survives to start into next season. But again, like I said, the way the Penguins have just been firing everybody, wouldn't be surprising at all if they turn around and kick Ralph Kruger to the curb in 2 weeks' time to hire some guy who has zero NHL coaching experience, or maybe even zero AHL coaching experience, or any real coaching experience. Why not? Fuck,
So
you hired the guy from accounting. Why not?
Hold on. Hold on a second. I gotta take. Hi, Kim. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm on the. No, listen. No, I know I don't have any coaching experience. No. Buffalo? Hold on. Guys, should I go take this Buffalo gig? Should I take this Buffalo gig?
Well, this is going to be the last show.
Who am I going to talk to every Wednesday, Scotty? You can't.
That's fine. That. I trust me. I'll make sure I still do a podcast, even
we're
gonna be on Wednesday Night Hockey.
You'll be doing a podcast.
Let's just be honest. We're still gonna have the show
from behind the bench. So yeah, guys. Okay, now we're about to play another edition of Ha 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 Fuck You. Just a second, guys. Change them up.
All right. So the game is gonna be December 19th, 2021. Who is on my team? Go,
because I don't know half these guys.
Buffalo Sabres versus who are we playing? Islanders. Let's go.
Well, look, I mean, you guys just wait. Hold on. Hello. Hi. Yeah, I don't know you. I'm sorry. I can't go to Buffalo. Sorry, guys. Okay, so anyway, you were discussing about how Jack Eichel's career is sort of in line with Ovechkin's career. Wouldn't this seem to be a good fit for someone like Boudreau, who tied the Caps together? He took a lot of young talent and made them into a good team. He just wasn't good enough to get them that next step. The Sabres seem to be in roughly the same place that the Caps were when they made the leap to be a perennial playoff team, talent-wise at least. Maybe not ownership or general management-wise. But would Boudreau be a good fit?
I would even argue talent-wise, I don't think they're like on the front end. Sure, Ristolainen is like the only defenseman that I would.
Dahlin, don't forget. Dahlin.
Yeah, he's down the line.
Brandon Montour.
Lyle, he's half man, half animal. I can't.
Yeah,
but look at the Caps back then. They didn't. Oh, they had Mike Green was their most notable defenseman, and he wasn't even a defenseman.
What?
They also had Enrico Ciccone.
That's true. They also had a good time to get goaltenders that were actually good for at least a year. I don't trust the goaltending. Is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen.
You are wise, sir, not to trust their goaltending.
Just because Ukko-Pekka Lokalainen is down there in the ECHL toiling around, and they're saying he's the next best thing. I don't believe that.
You just like saying his name.
It's a fun name to say.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of syllables and consonants that make no sense.
If it had any more K's, it'd be wearing a hood.
Wow,
ladies and gentlemen. They also have the Hamburglar in their system. Congratulations, Andrew Hammond. Shout out.
Come back, kid.
Does he still get hamburgers for life?
In Ottawa, maybe.
In Ottawa. Yeah, in Ottawa.
Who wants to go there? It's odd that Ottawa is a more reasonable destination than Buffalo at this point.
Oh my God. Yeah, pick your poison. Yeah.
Right.
The Pagulas or Eugene Melnick. Oh,
Lyle,
right now.
At what point did the Pagulias sell to Tillman Fertitta and move him to Houston?
Oh my God.
Can we put that in the discussion?
No.
If not, why will I put this in the discussion?
You
tomorrow?
won't put it in discussion because Gary Bettman does not want to move the Sabres out of Buffalo. Period. Full stop. End of story. No.
Houston dough.
No.
That Houston dough.
No.
My friend.
No.
We're gonna get a 44. We're gonna get a 34 team league, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to have 35 teams.
And 16 teams are making the playoffs.
I must say, by the end of this decade, we will have a team in Houston and 3 others and make it an even 35.
36.
Don't correct my math there, Scumpy. Anyway.
36 team league, 24 teams make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an 18.5 game season.
And all the playoffs are hub cities.
Oh,
yes.
God, I can't wait for the new NHL.
5 rounds because you're going to have a qualifying round, of course.
Oh, and guess what? It's best 03, baby.
Oh, baby.
Oh, I can't wait for the new NHL.
New NHL.
Thankfully, I'll be retired by then.
You're going to be missing out, Lyle.
Yep.
Yeah. I won't be covering the hockey anymore in 10 years' time, but I'll still come on the show so we can say rude things about it.
Hockey will also last between 10 and 11.5 months per year.
Love it. It's continuing. It's like year-round school. It's like year-round fucking school. End the season, you get 6 weeks off and back at her.
Anyway, so that's all I got to say about the Sabres anyway.
One more thing. Is there a trust issue now? Is there a trust issue now that makes nobody want to stay in Buffalo and makes nobody want to come? We all know they don't want to come to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Unless they're
the ones that are there now, I mean, yeah, you got to be looking at everything that's going on right now and going, what in the hell is going on? Because I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a fair point that you can make. I mean, with all this constant change that's been going on, I mean, well, since Jack Eichel's been there, they've turned over the GM now. They went from Tim Murray, because Tim Murray drafted him, to Botterill, to Kevin Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they've gone through 5 coaches since they drafted Eichel. Am I correct on that assumption? 4 or 5?
3.
Has it been just 3?
Yep, Bausma, and then what's his nut?
It was
and
Housley.
Yeah, and then now.
But wasn't there one more before him?
Nope.
Okay.
Nolan was before Bielsa.
Right, before Bielsa. No, you're right. But still, Eichel's been there 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And he's had, 3 coaches and 2 general managers. Well, two. They've changed general managers twice while he's been there, and they've changed coaches 3 times while he's been there. Yeah. So, you got to start to wonder if the trust is starting to wear down there. You really, really do. I mean, again, who knows? Maybe Kevin Adams will surprise us and can succeed where the others failed. I don't believe he can. So.
Yeah, no. This is
I feel bad for Sabres fans.
But Mojo, though.
Holy fuck, man!
Fuck 'em.
This is just brutal. I don't like seeing this at all.
Fuck them.
I know you don't have any warm fuzzy for them, but I don't like seeing any team, especially a team that has a rich history like the Sabres do, basically being run into the ground the way that they are.
I don't know. I kind of liked it when the Penguins were getting run into the ground too.
I agree.
Well, that goes without saying with you guys and your
Yeah.
passion for the Penguins.
It's
I
almost too
understand
bad that
but,
the Penguins didn't move to Kansas City.
Right? Been great.
Mhm.
Or Hamilton, for that matter.
Yeah, but then they would have been the Hamilton Penguins, and they still would have been coming around, and they still would have been the same team, and they still would have been beating your Capital. So you still would have
It
hated
would
them.
have been
No,
a different division.
They would at least got to the conference finals at least. So there's that.
Oh, okay, fair
I mean,
enough.
the Caps
There,
would have
there
gotten
is
the
that. You're right.
conference
There
finals
is that. There is that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they
Yeah.
would have broken your hearts in the conference finals.
And shit, if they moved out west, fuck that. That would have been awesome.
Other than that, well, let's talk about the Black Bears jerseys. Because I
All
will
right.
say this: the Patreon thing went up late, and we didn't get too much involvement, and that's on me.
That's fine.
So yeah, we're not gonna have a.
Oh well, they get to watch the video.
Yeah, they'll watch the video, and I'll put something up.
I'm wearing my most yellow shirt that I have for the Black Bears reveal jerseys.
Yeah. So the Black Bears unveiled new jerseys, and we thought just because they were getting rid of the old ones, the new ones would just come in and correct the flag. Nah, dog. They went a whole different route on this one.
Yeah, we were just thinking new seal.
Yeah, no. Here is the away jerseys.
Yeah,
They are black with this weird. I'm
not sure that I like the double, because if you look at the other side also, the Calvert is twice as well.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
So it is the full. It's like somebody cut the flag and then put it to get back together in pieces.
Yeah, it is kind of like that.
So it's kind of weird, but it is what it is.
You could have exactly. You could have easily just had the Crossland flag and then the Calvert emblem. I didn't notice their yellow numbers on the black shirt.
Yeah,
that's going to be popping.
That is pretty cool. I like that. I will probably go to Johnstown again this season because that was a fun trip.
Mhm.
And it's nice to see the away jerseys.
Yes.
In a situation where I have a photographer credential and I can take pictures the whole time. So.
And you got to figure that one night the Black Bears should host a blackout night.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Here are the home jerseys, which are the definition of sexy.
I love those jerseys.
These are probably my favorite.
I might buy myself like a normal replica of that jersey, and then also wait for them to go on sale.
Right.
when they get new jerseys in 2 years.
Exactly. There's the back of the jersey, with assistant coach Brandon Gotkin and his boat shoes.
Yeah. I saw that. And I was like, who is this kid? Oh yeah.
It's and he was the one who designed these jerseys too. Apparently, he
nice.
took the lead on that. And then here is a picture of the socks in the background here. Pretty much go the same way.
I do
as
like
everything.
that.
I like the yellow socks. Look fantastic.
I do like the yellow socks with the Maryland flag logo on it.
Yeah.
And then I appreciate that even though the black jersey has a wacky Maryland flag on it, the socks do the same thing. Because you could tell in the sock right there that the Calvert is twice.
Yeah.
So at least it matches, which the extremely OCD part of me would have been like super weird if it would have been like that on the jersey and then the socks would have been the same way as the yellow. I would have been like, no.
No, wait, what are you doing?
One way or the other, people. Let's make this happen.
Why didn't you just deuce it up, guys? But I like the fact that the standing bear is the lone bear now.
I do. I like that too.
I've always liked that logo, and the fact that there's not that many trees like that in Maryland, like the pine variety.
I'm kind of hoping, like I told you. See, God, that just flows together so well.
It looks fantastic.
Like I told you, I'm kind of hoping that that they kind of move toward that bear as their primary logo.
Yeah.
So like hats and stuff, and if they have hats that have patches on it, that we can like just buy the patches so that I can finally get our Bauer hats sewn up with that patch on it. Because that would be I think that would actually be nicer than what we were trying to do last year with the Bauer hats.
Yeah. Like this is probably I'm putting it in the running for best jersey of the season. already.
Wow.
Season hasn't started.
That's huge. We haven't even seen the Kansas City Scouts jerseys yet.
They actually do have them out.
Oh, all right.
They have busted them out. Their logo is whatever. I'll hit a stop share here and then look at the Kansas City Scouts.
I do really like that yellow. Mm-hmm. I like having, and it may be just me, but I like having a home jersey that isn't white.
Okay.
Because it kind of gives you that uniqueness. Like even like a light gray or I don't know what the Maine Nordiques used as their home jersey. I don't know if they had a white one or if they used that light blue jersey. But that light blue jersey they have is beautiful.
They did have a white one. So here's the Scouts jersey. It's almost akin to what the Kansas City Scouts of the NHL wore.
All right.
Kind of the same, almost the pattern. It's classic. It's nice. It's nothing. The Eagle logo is interesting. That's for sure.
That's not the logo that the Scouts used. But
yeah, no, because racism and such.
Right. Obviously.
So,
I like it.
I think it's pretty cool. A lot of new things going on. I got to see if they got the NHL.
Do they have the Magic Hats jerseys?
I'm sorry?
Have the Magic Hats jerseys come out or the
hat
Danbury? The hat tricks. Yeah. I'm gonna keep calling them the Magic Hats.
I think they do because there's, like I said, there's a federal team.
I hope that they're purple. I think they have like a purple color in their logo.
Let me see. Danbury Junior Hat Tricks. Danbury Junior Hat Tricks. Danbury Hat Tricks. Danbury Hat Tricks. What a weird name. It looks like they are black and orange, Orioles colors.
I thought they had purple. All right.
Yeah.
I would appreciate a purple jersey.
Well, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
We need a good purple jersey.
Maybe what we can do is we can talk the Black Bears into doing jersey nights for the local high schools in the area.
Right, and get a St. Joe.
They could have like a red one for like Spalding. They could have a purple one for St. Joe, and just have the big bear on the front.
Yeah.
And then they sell all of those. That would be perfect. People would go nuts.
Absolutely.
I might buy 3. Probably not.
I don't know. I want that yellow jersey, and I want it bad.
How do you think that they will make them in? So what size do you normally wear? Like you have like goalie cut or like 2X?
Usually 3X if they have it, which is kind of a goalie cut. And like a size 60, just because I like them bigger, and the way the new cuts, the way the cuts are in the thinner jerseys, the slimmer jerseys, I need a little bit in the wide area.
Yeah.
So 3X is usually my jam.
Because I wonder if the replicas will go that high. Is what I was saying. Like that's kind of because they did last year. I'm pretty certain that the replicas that they had 3X at the stadium.
Well, let me.
You have
chew up time. I have it back. I got it in my closet. If you want to talk for a minute.
All right. Yeah. If you like them, if you like what's going on, get out there. We will probably definitely pimp the jerseys where you can get them, where you can get the sweatshirts, because the sweatshirts are coming out too. I will probably end up myself with a new sweatshirt as well. I got the home white sweatshirt last time. Maybe I'll get the black sweatshirt this time, and then a yellow jersey for myself.
I appreciate them getting all of the colors of the flag.
Yeah, right.
That helps.
I thought that too. I was like, huh. So if you bought all of the jerseys, you'll have all of the colors of the Maryland flag.
Right. It is. I do have a Trip X.
Nice.
From
That's
Top
good.
Tier. Top Tier USA. And it's sublimated, all of it. Although they have like this, it looks like it's stitching on there.
Oh yeah.
It's not. It's just
so the ones the replica ones that they have at the stadium had the sewn on everything, but it didn't have numbers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought this through the team when they had it opened up where you can customize stuff.
Yeah, like one I got Lyle is a medium, obviously.
Sure.
But that's like a real jersey. It's like it's a heavy jersey. It doesn't have the fight strap in it, but the logo in the middle sewn on. The Maryland flags are sewn on the shoulders. So it's pretty nice. I will since I'm allowed into the arena early to take pictures for this team. I will see what sizes they are right off the hop, and if we need to, we can buy them before the game starts.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Love it. Does Leahy, you were a tour guide when we went to Miami a few years back, and then
From what I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and we, people were smoking in bars. It was a great time. I also want to know, have you gotten any better at ordering bacon with beers? As that was a thing that came up. It's draft time of year, so all my memories revolve around the stupid shit we've done at drafts.
I should have been leaving from Montreal today.
Yeah.
So here's another fun story.
On St. John's at Baptiste Day.
I told Leahy that Mark's birthday was Saturday, and I go, you remember when we used to celebrate that at the draft? And he goes, do you remember when Mark used to go to the draft?
The last time he went to a draft, I think, was Philly, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was after the.
No, didn't he go to Buffalo?
No, it was me, Johnny. That was Johnny and Lyle.
Yeah, no, it was actually so. Yes, I was the third person that didn't get a credential because I gave mine to Lyle, and it was Lyle and Scotty, and I went and played golf.
No, I'm being serious. Like Mark, I'm pretty sure Mark was in Buffalo.
No,
I'm breaking the bit.
Me.
I'm breaking the bit. I'm pretty sure Mark was there.
Nope, definitely me.
No, it was Johnny. Yeah, it was Johnny.
So, what Patanzo was I talking to?
This is so good.
Wow.
No, Mark was
This is
definitely
good.
not there.
I know what part of Sean Leahy's interview is going in the best of for the month. Oh, Lordy. No, that was Johnny because we all went to that River Works that had the wrestling ring and then the ice ring or the roller rink.
Yeah, that was me. That was remember I got accosted by that woman while I was walking out of the bathroom because she wanted to know how I knew you and Greg.
Yep.
You don't remember that, do you?
I just in case there's any lawyers listening, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's been 5 years. It's the statute of limitations stuff.
Yeah.
Who was that person?
I have no idea. It was just some random lady that was like, I saw you talking to Greg Wyshynski and Sean Leahy. How do you know them? And I was like, hi, I've got to go.
So I guess how would you rate it?
How would I rate the conversation?
No, the person.
No, it was a 1-star. Would not try again.
All right.
I had more interest at that point of seeing if I could get in the wrestling ring. Because I was like, I'm pretty certain I can throw somebody. And looking back at it now, I am like way bigger than Marco Stunt. So like I could have definitely gotten in. Had I worked my way into that ring, I could be in AEW right now.
You could be. You'd be getting that straight cash homie.
Yeah, fighting Hornswoggle every week.
Just a chance.
Scotty got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they could space everyone out, but then it would just be a Panthers game. So
I stole your joke.
It's all right. We can Sedin it up. We can Sedin it up. It's okay. We're healing. This is healing.
Is it?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, no. The last draft that Mark went to was Philly.
God, that long ago. That was like
2014.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that party was.
You don't remember. You don't really remember seeing us at the roof of that bar.
2014.
There's plenty of evidence.
That was there's videos of that party.
What videos?
Wasn't there a video of open mic night
Yeah.
at that party?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I remember that.
Pretty certain there was a video.
No, yeah, sure.
It might be right next to the Ottawa video.
The Ottawa video, yeah.
Yeah.
Philly was a thing, and then the year after that was Florida. Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, then Buffalo, then Chicago, then Dallas, then Vancouver.
Yeah. What a wild trip it's been. What a wild experience. This all started with Peter Griffin and Margaret Cho. It was a good time.
I know.
Good time.
Oh, the stalker.
Are you still in contact with either of them?
No.
Via lawyer.
No. The restraining orders? No.
Yeah, that was the first time that Sean Leahy thought that I was a busboy.
You did a fine job.
Yeah, I did do a fine job of cleaning up the table,
Think of all those limes that you
bringing all the lives back to the table just in case.
Never know. Never know when it's needed.
God, draft trips are so much fun.
Really are.
When
Sadly.
you posted the picture of Sean Leahy not being able to order his bacon and beer, all I remembered was the rest of that night, because like that just started. Like if that was a bell curve, that was the bottom of the bell curve, and that was fantastic, right? And then it just got better and better and better, and then it peaked on like us singing Bohemian Rhapsody, I think, at that piano bar.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And then it started coming back down, and Scotty and I get back to our hotel, and I'm not even joking. We were both in our rooms for less than 5 minutes, between 3 and 5 minutes, and the entire power in the whole place goes out. So we have room keys that obviously need power in order to get in, because they're like the swipe cards. So had we gotten there 5 minutes later, in no way, shape, or form would we have been able to get into our rooms. We both get into our rooms using cell phone lights to pack shit up and just head back to the airport.
Yeah. Because we had early morning flights.
This was by far the drunkest I've ever been going through security at an airport.
Oh yeah, no, I was starting to hang over a little bit.
Because I'm pretty certain that if I needed to run, vodka was coming out of my arms, like just sweating vodka, like down my arms at that point. But I got through security. I sat down in the airport because I had like a 6 a.m. flight or something like that. I sit down and I go, whew, I am drunk. And the airport is spinning. And I'm like, this is not going to be good. I am getting on a flight and I am passing out as quickly as possible.
And the fun part was that Johnny and I were at different airports. Like I was at Dallas Fort Worth. He went to Love. And yeah, we were just trying to get an Uber to get the fuck out of Lower Antebellum, I think it was called. I don't remember what it was called.
It was wasn't it Lady Antebellum? Close to that. Right?
No, they
Can't do
are
that anymore.
No,
No.
can't say that anymore. No.
Lady A.
Yep.
Oh,
no.
they don't have the whole name anymore.
No, they changed it, and then they realized it was a jazz singer from the '60s, so they're getting sued over that.
Oh, jeez.
So
What a joke.
But Dallas was a low key good time, I think, of all the draft trips that we've had.
Yeah, I
Just
told
because-
Leahy that 3 years ago we were watching the Chicago Fire, and they still email me at
Nice.
least like 2 or 3 times a year to buy tickets.
I remember that trip. There was an old website that used to stay in the upper sections of the RBC Center in Carolina.
Yeah.
We went to a ping pong bar and did all that. That was a fun time in Chicago. As Mark goes take care of Mark things, we welcome in Lyle Richardson of Spectres Hockey, who's been sitting here enjoying the draft stories.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, Dallas low-key good time, and only because after the whole thing with Sean and the waiter, Lozo and I are just sitting there yelling at him, and Johnny's cackling and
Just laughing. Like it was my job.
I went back to that bar when I was there for the Winter Classic. Rich and I went to that bar
Oh
again
God.
because there was a huge Predators fan meetup in Dallas. Like the bar was packed. It was like 4 deep at the to get a drink. Chris Mason and Hal Gill were there.
the USS Hal Gill, they were able to
Yeah,
get the boat.
it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Wow.
But
They must have parked him out front.
it was way too crowded, so I don't even think they were doing food. They were just doing drinks. So I didn't have to worry about ordering bacon or beer.
So Leahy walks up and is like, "Hi, so I'd like the sampler." And they're like, "No, you have to order one drink." And he's like, "No, the last time I was here, I had to order a sampler. I want the sampler." And he's like,
the sampler.
They're like, "No, sir, you have to order one drink." He's like, "Fucking tell Xander I want this." This is the second time I've been here, and I haven't been able to order shit in this bar.
Or Leahy can't order beer and bacon. Mike Russo and his twink. And he's on a screen.
I remember that. Holy cow.
And then Jen comes in with a tattoo. And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that sounds like a crazy time.
Actually, yeah, Dallas was a lot of fun.
Dallas is a hot town, man.
Really odd. It was Deep Ellum, by the way.
Dallas?
Deep Ellum.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Dallas was a good trip. Chicago was a fun trip too.
That party was a little out of hand too. got out of the Uber as we get to our hotel and then puke in the street.
Oh yeah,
that was
yeah.
Just spend the whole next day. I apparently trying to take NyQuil before I go to bed, and it's like splatter all over the room. After I take it, and then I just swan dive into bed and then pass out. And Jen's like, "What the hell just happened here?"
Yeah, I didn't have that problem.
You're a fun date
because I was in the I didn't have a press credential that year, so I got one of the tickets that you had bought, and it was also. Was it World Cup year or was it a Euro year? I think it was a Euro Cup.
year. Yeah.
So I would go to the bar or get beers and sit in my room and like drink and watch soccer all day long. And then I would meet up with people later. So I was already half drunk by the time I met people.
Right.
In the first place. So I just kind of plateaued the rest of the night. Like I didn't have to like catch up or do anything. Like I was already there and I was like, woohoo! And then I would just kind of like plateau. Like I didn't need I had like 2 beers at that party.
Right.
You know, like
that party was good because it was a drunk Jeff Merrick hugging everybody for way too long than he used to be.
He seems like he would be a huggy type of guy when he's had too much to drink.
Oh yeah, no, like he said goodbye like 5 times as he was trying to get out the door, and just like, yeah, no.
Wasn't that the party that we met Jolie Stewart Binks? Didn't she show up to the one in Chicago?
She came there with Merrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For a little get together at that bar.
And then we met up with Shelby again for the second time, because apparently I met her in Buffalo, and I don't remember that. And then good times there. Then the next year was what? That was Chicago. Then we talked about Dallas. Vancouver last year was weird. That was a weird trip, just because I was by myself. Like no one else was around.
It certainly wasn't as much fun as when you went there the first time.
Yeah, no, there was not. We didn't have a Dufferin story.
Well, I wasn't able to go to Vancouver because I had been in England like 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to go this year either because of work. So.
And then I stayed out by UBC by the Pacific Ocean, just hanging out by the beach all the time.
That's not a bad way to.
Oh no, it was a great time, but still, Vancouver's very expensive. Considering
the punishment you put yourself through before, especially the last time you were in Vancouver, that probably was a much better way to go.
I define punishment differently. That was a great story.
I got because I knew of the Dufferin beforehand. When you guys told me that was the hotel you got booked into, I was just like, oh my lord. And then when you told me more of the story, I was just like, yeah, that's Dufferin. That ain't changed.
I ended up at a Steve Dangle signing at the end of that trip too. It was very bizarre.
That's kind of weird.
Were you signing as Steve Dangle?
No, it wasn't even the guy. Sorry, I stepped on your joke that time.
No, I wasn't the one signing. It's fine.
I was gonna say you weren't even talking about the guy that has a podcast. You were just actually signing Steve Dangle.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
at the Dufferin.
Yeah,
just some guy named Steve.
The guest book. I was up next on stage before they're like, no, not that. Stop.
They're like, sir, the tranny show doesn't start for another couple hours.
Go get yourself a root beer. We'll be fine.
You may want to wear a raincoat. You will get wet on this ride.
Rest in peace. The Dufferin is not there anymore.
No.
Now something else. It's called Moda. Hello, Moda.
Moto.
Hotel Vancouver. Then the trips before that, Philly was a weird one. Jersey was fun just because of the story with us and Pope Brian Metzer and Sean Leahy as well was there for the cab ride from hell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Jersey was fun. Jersey was great because we walked in a full size soundboard into the arena.
That's true.
And then proceeded to put it in the upper deck because that's where we were seated.
Luckily, that draft was all in one day too.
Right?
Yeah, because
Well,
then we had to drive home.
Yeah, Mark and John drove home that night, and then I took an early morning flight Monday to get out of there.
Because you were still in Calgary then.
Yeah, I was still living in Calgary at that point.
But his flight, his travel agent had him going through Arizona though. So
right, it's weird. I don't know how that.
Yeah,
It was
New
from
Jersey to Calgary via
He went
Arizona.
Calgary to Chicago to Tampa up to Jersey. I'm like, wait a minute, how does this
That's
work?
a great travel story, Matt.
Right.
Oh,
And then my flight got delayed for like 3 hours. I was to Toronto, and I was with Duffy, and I was sitting next to Drager the entire time, trying to get scoops of ice cream, but he was a hog, but he didn't let me get in the aisle.
Mr. Two Scoops himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have as many wonderful draft stories as you guys because I only went to 3, but of the 3 that I went to, I enjoyed them immensely. So,
Lyle, would you have gone to Montreal? Would you have
Pardon
gone
me?
this weekend? Were you planning to go this weekend?
there was no way that I could get credentialed.
So you could just go. You get tickets.
I mean,
Dude,
I've been
to
going for
work
years
it,
and
you
just getting
know?
drunk
Just
with
because
everybody.
I keep get credentialed doesn't mean I'm not going to be working it.
Johnny pretends he's a busboy half the time. Right?
Sometimes I fly to whatever the place this is, and then I make money on the side, just like
go.
cleaning
Side
tables
hustle,
and
yeah.
stuff.
As
Yeah.
Well, what I
dangles.
maybe if they have it in Montreal, they don't know where they're going to have it. They're going to have it in Montreal next year or no?
Probably, right? You figure.
You would think.
If
Well, I would
timing
okay.
works out.
Well, what I'll do then? Well, what I'll probably do is just get the hotel, just cover it from the hotel, and then just meet up with you guys like beforehand and afterwards. That'd probably be the best way to go.
Let's go. You guys can get bunk
But
beds.
still,
You have so much room for activities.
It still sucks though because I really enjoyed being at the draft itself,
So
and
good.
it's just it just kind of sucks that I'll just be sitting in the hotel room covering it on TV, which I can do just as easily there. But by the same token, though, if I do it from here, then I miss out on the fun times with you.
Well,
guys
when I was in
afterwards.
Chicago, I got Scotty had gotten tickets for it, so I was able to go as a fan and sit in the upper deck, the last row of the arena, because that's normally where I head to, so I can like get a good view of everything that's going on. And like halfway through, everything was boring as shit, so I took like an hour nap, and then I like woke back up and I like kept going. Like I was like, yeah, this was fun. I was here the whole time.